Hello, 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 everyone. I'm Cheryl Grace, founding CEO of Powerful Penny LLC, an executive coaching, consulting, and lifestyle firm. So, welcome to season 4 of Live from the Pink Couch, episode 2. This is an interactive web series that helps professionals that we call our hashtag next level tribe reach their career goals in real time. Now, we call their lofty, ambitious goals pink elephants. And a pink elephant requires you to lean into your faith in order to bring it to fruition. And you also have to ask others for help. And that's a part of what we do here. If a hashtag next level tribe member successfully accomplishes their feat, then we give them something that's way better than any award. We give them the boot. That's right. They get booted out of the tribe. This is the only place where getting the boot is a great thing. Now, if you're watching us live and you've got any questions, please post them in the comments section because you never know, we may be able to help you with your career goals too. So here's the thing. Each episode here on Live from the Pink Couch, in addition to working with me, we identify an expert or an executive coach, and we assign them to one of our next level tribe members to work with. So here's the thing, you guys, that tribe member is coached by the expert in real time, but it's a surprise until right now, this very moment, as to who the coach is and which of the chosen tribe members will be getting coached. So first things first, let's today's amazing guest expert, Kelly Butler. Kelly is a certified advanced resume writer and a remarkable LinkedIn guru with over 20 years of experience in copywriting, marketing, recruiting, you name it. Kelly has walked the walk. She's been through numerous job highs and lows, including bouncing around 10 plus companies, changing careers twice, being laid off twice, and fired once. Kelly then has gone from full-time employee to being a freelancer and ultimately a successful entrepreneur. Needless to say, Kelly knows what job woes feel like. And tonight we are leaning into Kelly's resume writing expertise. And we paired her up with, drum roll please, our Career 2.0 star, Deshira. Woo! Yes. Now, y'all, if you recall from last week, Deshira has more than 20 years of work experience, and she's been in the U.S. Air Force, and she's expected to retire from the U.S. Air Force in the next 4 months. Her specific pink elephant goal is to complete 4 grueling exams and become a certified CPA, earning $80,000 to $100,000 within the next 18 months. So if you're out there and you're about to retire, or heck, if you just want to try something new to take your career to the next level, this is the episode for you. So pay attention, okay? We're going to give Kelly 15 to 20 minutes to chat and coach Deshira about her resume while we watch. Kelly, meet Deshira. Deshira, meet Kelly.
Hi, Deshira.
Hello, Kelly.
It is so nice to meet you and put a face with an amazing resume. I just want to say congratulations for everything that you've accomplished so far. I was very impressed with what I read, and I really think that you're on a trajectory to a really good path, and it's absolutely attainable what you want to do. And I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to help you with that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So one thing, I'm going to start off with a few different questions for you. And I know we're going to spend some time together alone, one-on-one later, but I'd like to ask you a few questions. And I did a little homework on my end. So I might be showing you some stuff from your resume that you've got now and ways to improve it just a tad. I want you to be able to walk away from this call with really a good feeling, like I feel like I've got this. I feel like I've got some steps to move forward. and you're the perfect candidate. So
Thank
let me start out with a few different questions that kind of it's going to give me and the audience sort of a preview of where you are. So what I'd like you to do first is describe what you do for a living, but only do it in like 3 to 5 sentences. So let's imagine, Deshira, that I met you at a party and I said, what do you do? What do you tell me in just a few sentences? What do you do now?
Okay, so I am an admin tech in the medical field for the Armed Forces, Air Force. And that just basically means that I can work wherever administrative work is needed. I don't really have hands-on with patients unless I'm specifically trained on doing that specific task. Let's see, right now, the section that I'm working in is computers, which is medical information systems. And then I'm also over resource management. And that's basically us billing for patients having other health insurance.
Got it. That's a great description. And that definitely ladders up to what I read in your resume, which is a very good thing. Next question. If you had one superpower when it comes to what you do, what is it? You can name one superpower.
If I had one superpower, it would be to have a little bit more time to get all my tasks done versus having to rush, stop to do meetings or go to briefings. There's always like technically I take that back. Not that I want time, I need like 2 of me. That way I can attend meetings and then I can get my job done and the tasks I need to accomplish.
I would love that superpower as well. That would be great if we could all just have 2 of us, especially being very strong women. I think that that makes total sense. You wish there was more of you to go around. And I can tell from everything you've done that you've been very, very busy. Last question. Okay. What is the single most important thing that you want people to take away after they've read your resume? And just like 1 or 2, 3 sentences, when they walk away and they put that down, they say, for example, it's not, they say, Deshira is the person we need because of blank. She does blank.
That would be for them to understand that I'm a hard worker, number 1. Number 2, I have that experience. I don't necessarily like to get jobs and then pretend like I know what I'm doing. I like to start from the lowest level and work my way up. And then 3, that I'm I don't know. I think those are the 2 most things that I want people to know, that I'm a hard worker and that my experience is what's bringing me to the table.
Got it. That makes perfect sense. So, and I'm being cognizant of time right now as well. What I'm going to do is first, I'm going to show, is it okay if I share your resume?
It's completely fine. I will say that this LinkedIn page, I think that's where you got it from, my resume. That was from one of my courses. I had to build it from a project. So some of it is true, some of it's not. So
that's totally fine. I've got a version of your resume, and we're not going to go through everything at all. I'm just going to show you some things you've done a great job at, and some things maybe where I could help you very quickly. And the good thing about this is what I'm going to be showing you are really questions, like I was asking you, questions you can ask yourself that are going to get you to explaining what you do in each job in a way that's going to ladder up to positions you potentially want, as well as speak to recruiters in the way that I think that would get them excited. So we're just going to so nothing's set in stone. That's totally okay. Don't worry about it. This is just, think of this as a rough draft, and just to give you a few different pointers and to celebrate things that I think you've done very well. Here is your resume. First of all, I love these little like icons you have there. That was so cool. I never even thought to do something like that. That was great. You've got your name, your information here, your how to get in touch with you. That's wonderful. You've got your summary. And then you've got your experience, which is, there's a lot of it. You have a very storied career, and that's great. So one thing I'm going to talk about really quickly, or sort of general things to consider with your resume, right? So today, a lot of people are adding their personal pronouns. So if you say she, her, hers, a lot of people are adding that to LinkedIn and their resume. It is not a requirement, but it's something that's very popular right now in resume writing. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. Typically for your resume, you go back throughout your entire career, which is phenomenal. But best practice is to only go back 10 to 15 years, right? And how that's going to help you is in two ways. One is it's also best practice to have a 2-page resume. Right now you have a 4-page resume and you have a very long career and you need a lot, right? But if you go back and you look at your resume here, and I'll show you in 1 second, if you go down really toward the end, we're looking at sort of this being the last job that you really need to have on there, because if you look, it's 2010 to 2013.
Yeah.
You don't need to have the sales associate or the health service or any of that stuff, not because it's not great that you did it, but because it's a lot longer away than what you've done recently. And also we want to really ladder up to what you've done recently, especially the resource management, which you've been doing for 4 years. And we also want to make sure to ladder up to the CPA piece, because that's what you want to do, right? We want to take your experience that you've got now and ladder that up to that CPA piece. And you've got some great stuff there. If you look here, I kind of did a little bit of work on your summary. So your summary is great. It's here. It's an introduction, right? It's an introduction to what you do. But really the way you want to maybe think about it is your position objective. So instead of saying, I'm experienced resource management specialist, demonstrated that in the military, that's great. But what you want to ask yourself are 4 questions when you're writing your summary. Who are you? High performing accountant with the master's degree and an eclectic and successful 20+ year military industry career. What you want, you're seeking that challenge as a CPA, correct? What you excel at. And this is just based on some CPA jobs that I saw. It's talking about how you're excelling at system requirements and workflow procedures, and then environments in which you thrive. So basically, you're going to be changing this into, this is what I want. Think of the top 4th page of your resume as a billboard, if that makes sense. So yeah, do you have any questions? Does that make sense as far as what I've said so far?
No, again, like this was kind of thrown together really fast. Yeah.
No problem. No problem. I totally understand. So I'm going to kind of talk about, I'm going to stop sharing now, and let's just talk about some general things to consider with your resume. That's going to help you no matter what job you're looking at, right? So one thing it's important that you do is you look at, let's say, LinkedIn or Indeed, and you find a job that you want, okay? So find that job that you want and look at the bullets they have listed on there. They'll say, we're looking for someone who does this and that and this. You can actually steal or kind of just take some of those bullets and rewrite them a little bit, because what's going to happen is when you apply for that job, it's going to see some of the bullets that were in that particular job description. And it's going to be looking at, oh, she's actually done this. Because if it's true and you've done what they're asking, you want to make sure to kind of use the language that they're using and put that in your resume. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. And one of the big reasons for that, and I wish they taught this in school and they didn't, is AI is huge right now in resumes. ChatGPT has been coming up a lot in resume writing as well. I think ChatGPT is a very good tool. I think it can help you with writing, especially if you say, here's a resume, here's a job that I want. If you use ChatGPT, which is just literally an open AI source, you can just Google ChatGPT and it's free online. You can actually, it'll help you kind of get the resume with the job description and kind of meld those together. So that's one thing to consider. The other thing to consider is technology. So when it comes to resumes, let's say you're applying for let's think of a job that you might want. Have you been looking at jobs?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about some jobs that you want, that you've seen.
So my top job would be to work for some of the one of the big four accounting firms. And that's just because I know they have incentives as far as paying for the CPA exam, just in case I do not pass, like maybe my first time, second time. They have some incentives to help me in that area. And plus I can get the experience or skills that I need from them.
I think that's a great idea. I think there's a lot of jobs. I think those firms are fantastic. Here's what I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to those firms, they're getting hundreds of resumes submitted, right?
Mm-hmm.
A human is not going to look at your resume first. A machine is going to. And it's called an applicant tracking system. That applicant tracking system is going to look for keywords from that job description and going to rank your resume. So when it gets to the recruiter, they may look at the top 1 to 30, 50, maybe 100 resumes, maybe. So it's very important. You have two audiences. You have that recruiter and you have the AI system. So one thing you've done great on your resume is I can tell you've done it in a Word document or some Word program. Everyone needs to do that. Do not use a design program. The AI cannot read design programs. You also need to save that Word document that you make your resume in as a PDF and always submit a PDF because those are what's going to keep the formatting in place. That's why you want to look at those job descriptions and see what kind of words they use. If you look at a few of them from those big four, you'll see they start using the same kind of words. So you want to pepper those words into your resume because when it gets to that applicant tracking system, it's going to key off and say, oh, these are the keywords I need. This is what I'm looking for. And then you're going to rank higher to get to that human. The other thing that I'll recommend is writing a cover letter. Some people say they're out of date. I disagree. Having been a recruiter myself, I would say 50% of recruiters look at cover letters, and those 50% care a lot about what they say. So always make sure you include a cover letter that's not, you can have a template, but make sure you put some personalized things in there, if that makes sense, because you want to curtail it to that job. The other thing with your resume is it's great if you could get a testimonial from someone, if it's a boss, if it's someone else you've worked with, a coworker. It's like a little quote that just says, Deshira is amazing for X reason, you know, and it's just a cherry on top. It's not a requirement, but it's something you can include in your resume or LinkedIn. And it's nice if it's a senior person because they're like, oh, this person really believes in Deshira. And actually, it's not just her telling me this, someone else is telling me this. The other thing that I'll tell you is, you know, when you're writing out those bullets about your responsibilities and you're like, I did this, I did this, I did this, that's awesome. But the other thing you need to include is what we call metrics-driven results. So don't just tell me what you did. Tell me how it impacted the bottom line. Did you save time? Did you save money? Did you make a process easier? Did you do something first? Okay. You want to make sure in each of those bullets, you don't just tell me what you did, you tell me how it impacted the company. And if you have any measurable results, numbers or things like that, you want to include those, right? And you want to do that on each one of your jobs. So that's also very important too. I think, you know, as far as specifically concerning your resume, I really want you to play up this amazing career you've had in the military industry and the CPA, because I've seen them, especially in one of your jobs, they cross over. You've done some things that ladder up to that. I can tell. There's definitely some accounting things that I saw in one role, if you know the role that I'm talking about. Yes, you did some great things. So what I want you to do, because a resume is 2 pages, I want you to do a little billboard on that summary, have some bullets, and pull those bullets that are related to CPA up to the top. Okay. Yeah. And you can call that professional wins or whatever you want to call it. Again, the top fourth of your resume is your summary. It's got your technical skills. It's got your skills such as accounting and financial and things like that. Technical skills are your computer stuff that you also have. And then I want you to have this other billboard that's this professional summary, and just pull up from the second page. They may be down there. Pull up those bullets to the top, because a recruiter is going to look at the top 1/4 of your resume and they're going to do it in 6 seconds. So you want to make sure that you've got all those things up at the top real quick to get them to keep reading. Same thing on your LinkedIn. And the good news is, I know you're saying my LinkedIn's not quite up to date. That's okay. You can get your resume in a good place and port all that over to LinkedIn. I also worked in LinkedIn. There's a lot of back-end stuff that helps as well. But those two things can operate together. And LinkedIn is just as important as your resume, because those big 4 companies pay a lot of money to find candidates using LinkedIn. And I promise you, they're going to post those jobs on there. On LinkedIn, you can also set up job notifications for those. So you can actually have them emailed to you, so you know when it's time. Any other questions for me? I feel like I've been telling you a lot, but
only because I've played with LinkedIn a little bit. The background splash, should I have that at the top?
It's a very good question. Yes, you should. And it should have your name and your title on there. The title of the job you're going for. Okay. Put that up there. And don't make it splashy. Don't make it crazy. It shouldn't be that. It should be very simple. A blank background is fine, just with your name, and your title under that is perfect. People want to get a visual cue. We want to tell them right up front what you want without them having to read anything below, right? And that's important on the top of your resume too. The title that you want, that needs to be next to your name and potentially your pronouns.
And I'm saying that right? The backslash, like the black part where I have the phone and the computer.
Exactly.
I don't want it to be like Facebook, because I feel like that's where it's headed. LinkedIn, it feels like Facebook almost.
And what you're talking about is the hold on one second, is the banner, right?
Yes, banner.
Correct? Yes. Okay.
That.
Now, I think this is actually very nice. This is very simple. It's got your email. It's got accountant. I might put this bigger and put it under here, just because it gets a little lost in here. I like the idea of you having your email, though. I think that's really smart. I think this picture is fine. This is simple. You did a really good job here. I like your profile picture too.
That's actually an old picture from JCPenney's. I don't even remember.
Well, here's the thing. You can take it again if you want, but make sure, see how you have a natural background here? Make sure you have a natural background, a neutral background, that you're dressed professionally and that you are smiling, which you are doing in all of these. But that's something, if you do it again, make sure. And again, once you do your resume, you can pepper all that really into the LinkedIn here. And the same rules go for LinkedIn as your resume. Don't go past 10 or 15 years. So you want your resume, jobs, your positions to match your LinkedIn positions.
Okay.
Other questions? Let me stop sharing here.
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'm really excited for you. And I'm excited for what's next for you. And I'm excited to work with you one-on-one. And we're going to go through a lot more stuff. But I hope this was helpful just to kind of get you going. And I hope you're excited too.
Oh, I'm excited. And I appreciate it.
Good. It's so nice to meet you. And thank you, Cheryl, so much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
So before you go, Kelly, I do have some questions for you.
Please.
That I think anybody who's watching will also benefit from. So you talk about going no deeper than 10 to 15 years on the resume.
Correct.
And so I want to make sure that people understand that they're comfortable with, you don't have to include, if you graduated in 1962, you don't have to go all the way back and include everything in that. But what happens is, even what you've done in the last 10 to 12 years, 10 to 15 years, should you go to 4 pages? Is there any reason you should have a 4-page resume, not a CV, but a 4-page resume?
Never. No.
Okay.
You should
Okay.
have a 2-page resume. I don't care if you're the CEO or you just graduated. Well, if you just graduated college, you'll have a 1-page resume.
So this is going to be our guest coach pink couch tip for today, y'all, is you do not need more than 2 pages for a resume. We don't care who you are. We don't care what kind of big old fancy job titles or roles that you've had. 2 pages will suffice, because I heard, and I love this, that the first quarter of the resume should be a billboard for you. I love that.
Mhm.
So
100%.
now, but there were a couple of different things that I heard in that billboard. The first quarter, you said, should include the summary and their tech skills, and to pull up to the top things that are actually related to the job that they're going after, right?
Correct. And basically what you're doing, and hold on one second. I'm just going to show you real quick because I've done it already. You've got your summary here, which is your position objective that I talked through. You have your professional skills. That's accounting, business administration. Your technical skills, those are your computer skills, and your career highlights. For example, Deshira, these are the ones I pulled up for you because I was like, this really ladders up great to being a CPA. So for me, these would be the first 4 bullets. Also, always start with a verb: supported, calculated, prepared, checked. Every bullet should start with an action verb. That's the way recruiters are looking for it. So your career highlights would be checked figures, postings, supported budgets and contract negotiation, all those great things that ladder up from your military industry career to the CPA. So I hope that helps me showing just a little bit.
So usually those are things that come at the bottom. We tend to put at the bottom of our resume, the technical skills. And that's what I wanted to get clarity on. So your recommendation is that we move those up to the top? For Deshira?
Yeah, for Deshira, absolutely. I think we should have your professional skills at the top and the technical skills. It does depend on the resume. The reason I say that, Deshira, is because I actually looked at a job for you. I actually found, I'm going to send it to you because I think it's a great job. But I found a great job that I was like, she'd be so perfect for this. And they actually asked, I want to make sure that she has a couple of Microsoft Access was another one. And Microsoft, the 2 programs you mentioned, they asked for them. So because they asked for them in that resume, I want to make sure to put them up top. Now, keep in mind, things like Microsoft Office, Google Suite, it's implied that we all know those. It's not important that we put those, okay? Unless maybe that's your core to your job and you're just an admin assistant and that's core to your job. We want to focus on more specialty programs. When you mentioned the Access, you mentioned one other thing. I was like, that's not something I hear every day. So I want to make sure to put those technical skills in there. But another client, her technical skills, she just had a couple basic ones. They didn't seem they were totally important. And so I ended up, because there was more important things, I ended up putting them at the bottom. But I would say 90% of the time I put technical skills at the top. And for you, I would absolutely recommend that.
That was very helpful. Thank you. Another one of the pink couch tips that I heard you share was that you have about 6 seconds to make an impression with your resume.
6 seconds. That's all the chance that you get. There's recruiters get a bad rap. They say recruiters don't email me back. Recruiters, don't respond. And let me just tell you, recruiting is not the easiest job, and they have to go through hundreds of resumes, which is why they have to use programs to do it. So when it's time for them to look at it, they are going to look at it for 6 seconds. They're going to graze and glance. And that's why we need to have that billboard there to get them excited and entice them.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was a great point. The fact that the other pink couch tip that we're going to share is that before a human lays eyes on your resume, a robot has done it. You call it the applicant tracking system.
Applicant tracking system is used by many, many companies. It's definitely used by the four biggies that you want, Deshira. They definitely use that because they have so many applicants, right? And so, yes, I will tell you a personal story. When I started doing resume writing, I didn't realize my resume wasn't correct. That's how I kind of started here. And it turned out mine was coming up blank on
How?
ATS readers.
How does that come up blank?
Because I used a design program. I didn't know that you were supposed to use Word. And what happens is it can't read design. It's not going to read a Photoshop file or anything like that. And it's just going to, it doesn't get rid of it. It's not true. When people say AI's trash resumes, they rank them extremely low. So the chances that anyone was going to see my resume was nil. So when people come to me with beautiful resumes or tell me they want fancy things, I tell them we can get as fancy as we can in Word. But what's more important is that we get these words across. The writing is everything, because that's what these AIs look for. And also this AI technology is not the greatest. I wish they'd update it. But so, we got to play to the AI and play to the recruiter. But the goal of a resume, remember this, very few people, if any, get a job off a resume. The goal of your resume is to get you in the room to sell yourself. That's it. It's not the whole story. It's not everything. You just need enough to get in that room so DeShira can sell DeShira.
Love it. 6 seconds to make an impression, sell yourself, to get that foot in the door. That's what your resume is geared up for. And use Word. But I love that you also said, put it in a PDF format.
Yes.
So if I put it in Word and send it, what happens versus if I just use a PDF?
Either one is fine, but here's what I'll tell you. In my resumes and a lot of resume writers, we do use graphics. We don't just, I'd want to use charts. I want to put in some really cool stuff. And what happens is occasionally, maybe you type something extra in Word or the file doesn't get saved right. That formatting can go a little awry or askew in Word. Okay. But if it's a PDF, it's like a poster. It stays exactly the same. There is nothing wrong with sending a Word document or a PDF. The results are absolutely the same. It's just an extra piece of insurance to make sure that all the little bells and whistles you put in are where they're supposed to be.
This has been so helpful. DeShira, do you have any other questions? I feel like I had a lot, but do you have any other questions?
No, I think she answered pretty much everything that I needed to know about LinkedIn. So now I feel a little comfortable.
Good. Yes. And we're going to talk again. I know LinkedIn seems overwhelming, but once you get into it, and especially once you have that resume written, it's a wonderful tool. It really is. And especially for the companies that you want, we need to get you on that. Okay.
Wonderful. So I know the two of you are, we're going to make sure that you have each other's information, and you're going to have another private session, DeShira, with Kelly. So you'll be able to go in detail with your resume. But Kelly, great information. Thank you so much for coming on tonight and being with us live from the Pink House.
Thank you. I just want to say I'm so impressed with all of you, and I really appreciate you having me here. And thank you so much, Cheryl. And I'm looking forward to working with you, DeShira.
Same here. Thank you.
Okay. You take care now.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Kelly.
Thanks.
Okay. So that was great. How you feeling, DeShira?
I feel really good. I'm happy. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're excited. And again, we're going to have you guys spend a little bit of one-on-one time talking to each other. So that gives you enough time. We gave her the resume that you sent us. So whatever you sent us, that was the one that we gave her. Now, I did hear a little bit of, I just want to say the resume that you may have found on my LinkedIn may not be, I just threw it up there. Anytime I want you all to think of LinkedIn, your resume, anything that you put out there publicly. Think about if you walked out of the house with your bathrobe on and your satin bonnet on at night, like, okay, don't look at me right now. I'm just running to the store. No, you never know when someone is going to pull that information off of any platform. So you got to be buttoned up, booted and suited up on any of those platforms that you are looking at for professional exposure, okay? So I would rather see no resume up there than one that you feel you have to explain. All right?
And when I say that, just to be full, like transparency or whatever, it's like my location, some of the things about the patient movement, know that like the person who kind of redid my LinkedIn, I paid them, but they didn't do a good job. So I kind of just left it and yeah.
Yeah, don't let somebody else undo your professional reputation.
Right.
Okay. Lesson, that's a pink couch tip from Cheryl, is always put your best foot forward. Otherwise, don't put it up there. Okay.
Understood.
All right. All right. So this is great stuff. So each session, we assign homework assignments for our hashtag Next Level Tribe members. We ask them to do homework that's going to get them closer to achieving their pink elephant goal. So we're going to start with you, Vicki. I want you to tell us, because I know what your pink elephant goal is, but I want you all to get in the habit of saying your pink elephant goal out loud, because you got to know it and have it down pat. So what is your pink elephant goal and what was your homework? And talk us through the process that you went through and what you learned from your homework or what you did.
So my pink elephant goal is by May 23rd, 2024, I am a thought leader who was also a director of human resources, making $150,000.
Right. Okay. And very good. I'm glad you were able to say it seamlessly. I love that. And what was your homework?
My homework assignment was to find 3 areas that I was passionate about in the training and development, career development space.
All righty. So what did you find?
I went down a bit of a rabbit hole. So I started to ask myself questions as I was thinking about 3 areas that I was passionate about. I was trying to understand, why was this important to me? What do I feel when I do this? What do I want to do with this long term? I was going to training and development. I was going to career development. I was going to talent management. Those are all fields within learning and development. So I tried to narrow it down to what specific parts of those worlds that I really enjoy or have a passion for. And I'm thinking about, coaching conversations excite me. So when I'm able to sit with one of my leaders and talk through what their concerns are, I'm naturally inquisitive. So I ask questions to get people prompting and thinking about what their issues truly are. So I say coaching, maybe it's inquisitor. I also like succession planning. When I work with leaders on talent development within their organization, asking questions again about who's on their team, what training's been done, where are they in the pipeline. So I enjoy kind of putting a puzzle piece together to kind of see who the individuals are, who the players are on the team, and how can they best fit leading up the chain. Where can they go laterally? Where can they go vertically? Where else can their skills be best utilized? So succession planning, coaching came to mind, and facilitating conversations. It's a skill that I definitely want to enhance, but I like getting people in a room and trying to talk through what their issues are. So facilitating conversations comes to mind. So those are 3 things that I kind of picked up as far as a theme that I was passionate about. So coaching, succession planning, facilitation. And as I was looking at talent development, a lot of these things they talk to one another. They're not necessarily separate things, but thinking about my future role as the director of human resources, I think all of these things could be skills utilized within that role without it being specifically a facilitator type of a role or a coach type of role. These are all things I can certainly do in the HR director role.
Excellent job on doing your homework. I have a lot of notes here. So I want to walk through some of these things with you. Coaching conversations, succession planning, facilitating conversations. So the word conversations, but what I really hear, coaching, succession planning, and facilitating. I wonder if looking into certification to be a coach is something that you've thought of.
It is. And yes, it is.
And you can find a certification program that perhaps the company will pay for you, and take that back and use that certification in your current role and to help you advance and grow in to your next role as a director level. So how much time have you spent researching coaching certification programs?
Eyeballing it probably for the last year, researching in earnest, not long, maybe a month, meaning I attended a webinar to learn more about it. So that was like an hour and a half, 2-hour webinar. But it's been on my mind for quite some time.
All right, we're going to take it off your mind and put it onto your to-do list for your homework for next time. We want you to research 3 viable coaching certification programs that you can do while you're still working. So that's homework number 1 for you. The succession planning, the facilitating conversations, and the coaching conversations, again, one of the things you said you wanted to achieve is being a thought leader. When we ask you to take a look at the 3 areas of interest to you, what I had in mind was, how do you now take coaching, succession planning, and facilitation, training or facilitation, how do you take that and break them into different types of topics that you can become an expert on? So, for example, I do coaching on careers and helping people get to their next level. So I do thought leadership by posting a newsletter on LinkedIn called Level Up with Grace. And I take the professional development and I've broken it down into different topics that I think women of color are interested in. And I post them on a newsletter once a week on Mondays, for those of you who are interested. What I want you to do is to take each of these 3 areas, the coaching conversations, succession planning, and facilitating conversations, and what are 3 topics for each one of those that you could write about? And not write about as in, oh, I know this off the top of my head and I just write a piece about it. You may have to research. But what are 3 topics? You don't have to write the topics. I just want you to identify the topics. If you were a thought leader in these 3 spaces, what are 3 topics that come to your mind that you could write about? And this is how I help individuals who are interested in expanding their executive presence, who want to be a thought leader. The first thing is what do you want to talk about that you thought about? And how do you get that out there? So the first thing you have to do is identify, well, what topics do I have a passion for? Could I shed unique light on that's not already out there? Or how do I take something that is out there, put my own spin on it, so that I become an expert in this space? Now, even if you're not doing it right now, even if you're not perhaps coaching, maybe one of the topics is why inside coaching could be a perk offered by your HR business partner. I don't know. I'm just making these things up. But do you understand what I'm saying about the topics? So you're going to identify 3 topics for each of those 3 areas that you've already marked for us: the coaching, succession planning, and facilitating. What's your angle? What's your spin? 3 different spins for 3 topics. So you're going to come back with a total of 9 topics.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
It is very much so. Thank you.
Now, our guest coach, Kelly, was also talking about ChatGPT. Anybody out there, have you used AI yet to help with any writing, either one of you?
I have not.
I just read the story about it when they posted on the news or whatever.
Y'all, it is, I don't know if the kids say this anymore, thebomb.com, but it is. there's one that I use. You can use Chat GPT. I use one called Jasper.ai. Pick one of them. They basically are all the same, with the exception of the fact that I think some of them get your voice a little bit better than others. But you don't have to make this hard anymore either. If you go in to Jasper.ai, what you can do is, say you want to write a blog about coaching, the benefits of having HR business partners as a coach, as certified coaches, right? Let's say you want to write about that. You type that in as a topic and you can ask for an outline. It'll spit out an outline for you. And then you take the outline and maybe you develop it into a full blog. Now, it's not perfect, but it gives you great insight into words that you could use, the way people think about it, and you put your own twist or your spin on it, so you're not starting from scratch. It's going to be far easier than it's ever been before to get people into sharing thought leadership blogs and posts so that you can help cement yourself as an expert on a particular topic. So you might just want to give it a spin. I'm not going to assign it to you, but I sure would be happy as extra credit. You came back next week and you said, you know what, Cheryl, I looked this up and this was like, the kids don't say it anymore, the bomb dickety. So is that helpful? Any of that helpful to you?
Absolutely. I mean, Chat GPT has been a topic du jour as of late. It's everywhere. So it would definitely be in my interest to kind of understand what it's about. So
yeah,
with a nudge.
I agree, especially if you want to be a thought leader. So those two things are going to help you with both of your goals. The first one, looking at 3 types of certification programs for coaching, that's going to help you with your goal of getting that promotion to director level, because you're going to bring some additional training that maybe your colleagues don't have. And then the second homework assignment of identifying the 3 topics for each of the 3 areas is going to help you position yourself as a thought leader. Questions?
Clarity, it's coming in. It's becoming clearer. It's nice to kind of see things unfold. It feels good.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's why you're here. And thank you for taking your homework seriously. And Deshira, I know that you had homework. What were the 10 companies? You had 10 companies. What were the 10 companies that you identified?
So with the Air Force, this is a good thing that they just came out with in the last couple of years. You can go on this website and pretty much find a company that's been approved through the Air Force or whichever military branch you're in. And you pretty much will work for them for free while the military still pay you. And then you gain the skills, knowledge that you need, and they will hire you, from what I'm told most of the time, after your time is up. So I went on that website and I put the first 4 are more feasible. I feel like I have a better, like Kelly was saying. With SMB, I actually do have an offer with them. I just need to submit my newest updated resume. And that gives like an overview of all the skills I would need after reviewing that.
So what's SMB? Is that a company or is that what?
It's a small accounting firm. The only bad thing about it, it was in a location where I didn't want to be.
Okay, so tell me the names of the companies, first of all, that you have. SMB is one. Give me the 10.
SMB, and then ASRC, Federal Holding Company, Veterans Florida, Insight Global LLC, and then I have Deloitte, Pricewaterhouse Coopers, Ernst & Young, and then I have KPMG, and then I chose Google and Amazon, and that's only because I've heard you can work from home with them.
Okay. All right. You know, first of all, one of the things I want to say, anybody out there, is your companies that you choose them for your reasons. I don't have to it doesn't have, the reason doesn't have to be important to me. It just needs to be important to you. So you got Google, Amazon, KPMG, Ernst & Young, PwC, Deloitte, Insight Global, AFRC, S&B, and I can't read my handwriting, Vector. Number 3.
Oh, veterans.
Veterans.
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't read my handwriting. Excellent job. So you said you have an offer into one?
Yes. I emailed them a long time ago when I thought I was getting out at my 19-year mark. And they have asked me, they reached back out not too long ago to submit my resume for this summer, but I'm still serving, so I can't. So I was told to just submit it for next summer, which would be perfect.
Okay, so we're going to do this in the order. You're going to meet with Kelly, hopefully before we meet again.
Mm-hmm.
So Mark has all of that information for you, and Kelly has your information, but we need to try to get you to meet with her. We need you to get your resume updated.
Yes.
Before next week. That's your
Yeah.
homework, is update that resume.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any questions on your homework?
No, sorry it was written like that. I just didn't know what to do.
No, it's fine. No,
Okay.
no, everything is fine. So Destiny is on a cruise and is going to be joining us a little bit later. She just graduated, so we want to give shout out, woo, Destiny. Happy dance, happy dance. Graduated from college, and she is our newbie, and she is so excited about starting her career. So Destiny, you had homework last week. Your homework was to identify 5 corporations and 5 real estate agents that you think you might like to work at now that you've graduated. So what were the 5 companies that you identified? What did you learn as part of this experience? And what are your top companies? What's your top real estate agent that you would most like to work for? And what's your top corporation? Eager to hear about it.
For my homework assignment, I decided to Google research 5 business companies in South Florida that I would want to work for with an international business degree. The top 5 that caught my attention were Carnival Corporation, Royal Caribbean International, World Fuel Services, and Ryder System. Those 4 companies I researched have a bunch of job opportunities in international business, such as international sales and marketing, supply chain management, and finance. The 5th company is FedEx, a global logistics company that has a large presence in South Florida. FedEx has a range of job opportunities and international business like global sales and customs brokerage. In terms of real estate agencies, I Google research real estate companies in South Florida. The top 5 that caught my attention were Boca Expert Realty. The agents who work for this company are known to be self-driven, organized, and motivated, in which I believe best fit me personally. Boca Expert Realty also offers training and mentoring services bi-weekly, and as well as marketing support. I also found eXp Realty. I found out that the agents at this company keep 80 to 100% of commissions. The company has a low $16,000 company cap, and it is anywhere and anytime type of occupation, with being known for one of the largest independent brokerages on the planet. The 3rd company I found was Harcourts International Prime Properties. This is a real estate brokerage firm that specializes in sales, purchases, and management of residential and commercial properties. This company also has a strong focus on customer satisfaction. My grandmother actually works for this company, being a realtor since 1991. She has introduced me to this real estate industry as my mentor, and she knows to only surround herself with the best, and Harcourts is one of the best real estate agencies. And what makes Harcourts a little different from any other real estate agency is that they are also auctions as well. The 4th company that I researched was Sotheby's International Realty, which is a luxury real estate company that has a strong presence in South Florida. I found out that they offer training and support for new agents, and their compensation structure includes a mix of both commission and salary. And then the fifth company is Remax, which is a global real estate company with multiple offices throughout South Florida. And they offer training and support for new agents and have a commission-based compensation structure as well. And from this homework assignment, if I had to choose one corporation and one real estate agency, it would be working with either the Royal Caribbean or Carnival Cruise companies, just because I found that more appealing to me because I just left from a cruise. I was on Carnival Cruise, and I actually attended I was trying to attend a bingo game, and one of the cruise directors were doing questions and answers, and she gave us a little rundown of what her position may be, and she says that there are members and staff members from all over globally. So I think working with a cruise company is an ideal occupation given my new bachelor's degree in international business. And then if I had to choose a real estate company, it would be Harcourt's International Prime Properties, because I do have a little taste of that real estate company, although I am not licensed yet. But I got a little taste just from my grandmother, so that was great.
Okay, great, Destiny. So, all right. So thank you for taking the time and doing your homework assignment, even though this has been an incredibly busy week for you. Cheryl's Pink Couch tip is when you really want to do something, you will find a way, even when it looks like there are obstacles. That's called tenacity and determination. So you've identified those top 5 real estate agents, and you've also identified the top companies that you'd like to work for. Your homework assignment for next week, should you decide to accept it, and I know you will, is to write an email to each of the real estate companies introducing yourself. I want you to write an email introducing yourself to them, and to mail it to those 5 real estate agencies. Okay? All righty. I am really happy for all of you and the work that you've put into this so far. Is this helpful?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, great. That's what we aim to. We hope that we're helping you at home as well. If you have any questions, put them in the post and I will answer them when I see them. And thank you for joining us on Live from the Pink Couch. We're going to see you same time next week here from the Pink Couch.
Check out the progression of all of our participants at Cheryl's channel of Fabulosity on YouTube, or learn more about the coaching programs and services we offer at IamCherylGrace.com. This has been a Powerful Penny LLC Pink Elephant production.